Hey, thanks for joining my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Casey. I am self-proclaimed deer wizard. Most of my videos are about deer and deer habitat, and my new business this year is taxidermy, adding on to the business that I have. I'm going to be doing this during the winter, but right now I'm just learning and I'm an apprentice. So today is my first mount. I'm going to get started on it. So hit like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel out. And we'll get started here. Beginner taxidermy. Okay, I'm just going to talk a little while. I'll try to make this as efficient as I can. So I got a Michigan taxidermy license, and I've been taking classes online and watching a lot of videos. I really like Cedar Ridge Chronicles on Facebook, or on YouTube, I'm sorry. Daniel Williams, I believe his name is. So thank you, Daniel, for a lot of the great information. I know his YouTube channel is growing. Ben Mears, some Matuska stuff on YouTube. I've been learning from different taxidermists. I became a member of the Michigan Taxidermy Association. And I went to the annual show they have in Mount Pleasant, and there was some seminars. Tyler LaRue, back 40, taxidermy. Johnny Reisinger, he is a award-winning taxidermist from Texas. I listened to him. Jim Liska had a great seminar on tanning the hide. So I did not tan my own hide. I took into a tannery. There's one down the road from me where I live, and great guys. Tanneries right now are really behind. I don't say behind, but it took let's see, 3 months, I think, to get 3 capes back. And for my business, I'm gonna have to learn how to tan on my own. I may have to get a wheel, or I may have to find another way around it. There's some guys out there that I have met that will cape it out well, I'll cape it out. So that means after the deers come in, you cape the skin all around the face, and then cut the antlers off, and then what happens is they turn it inside out, and they have to turn the ears, which you split the ears. You have to split the eyes, the eyelids, which is really fine. It's just kind of practice type of thing. The nose has cartilage in it. You take apart that and fold it all out, and the lips also fold. That's all the stuff you tuck in to these areas. So something I gotta keep on learning is turning, and then you start using a wheel, or start skinning the inside of the cape, and they usually use a wheel. Some guys don't. Some guys will do it by hand. I don't know how I'll do it yet until I learn how to do it. And then you pickle them, and after you pickle them, or you salt them, pickle them, and then they're tan. You may have to turn it again on the wheel, flushing machine, and then you can tan them when you're done, and then they're ready to go. Throw them in the freezer. So I've caped quite a few out. One of the things I learned is it's tough around the ears, but now that I know what to do, it should be a little easier. I use a Scalpel 22 blade. I think it's a Scalpel 3 or 4. I don't know. I'm still learning all this lingo as well. But right around the chin is also difficult when you're caping them. And then cutting off the antlers, I've got to learn a way to do that so you don't mess with, like, you can position them however you need to, but you got to cut and stuff the skull plate so you don't have to do a lot of work. So that's stuff I have to work on. And then you get the cape the rest of the way off. Pretty much easy. Around the eyes, when you start doing it around the eyes, is something I'm still learning on. I did it correctly. Best to just cut off as much as you can, because you can always cut it back off. So So yeah, the nose was pretty simple. The lips were pretty easy. And then you just roll it up, put it in a garbage bag, airtight, mark it, of course, and put it in the freezer. That's ready for fleshing. You can, what I'm going to do next season is probably take the first few right to a tanner, especially if it's early season deer. I mean, I'm hoping I can get some in and people take a chance on me and work with me. I got a good client list I'm going to work with. But I'm going to probably take them to the tannery right in the beginning. And then as the year and the winter goes on, I get more time, I will try doing my own capes. So then, one good tip, one good thing I learned, it took a mistake, but when ordering the form, so when the deer comes in and it's still on the body, whatever, you take a measurement around the neck. Well, whatever that measurement says, like let's say this, it says 18, order a 17-inch form. So what I did mistakenly was if I measured 18, I ordered an 18 form. That was wrong. Because of the skin thickness all the way around, it could be a 1/4 inch thick. Some bucks are even more than that, or some are smaller. This one happened to be a doe cape that I'm doing first. This is my own. It's not no one. I'm doing it for nobody else but myself. This is my learning one. So yeah, I had to order a different one, and here I am. So I learned that, just because, measuring it from the outside or with the deer on it, that doesn't really do anything. And then the eye measurement, most of the time, the 7.5, 7.25, unless you get a really unique deer, a really big deer, old deer, you could take all types of measurement. But I recommend when you're getting started, don't worry about it too much. Basically, a lot of the taxidermists said they don't even measure this one hardly anymore. Basically, the neck is the biggest measurement. But I think as I go along, I'll be doing a bunch of measuring to try to put it back as best I can from when the hunter shot it. So that's another thing. So that was one thing I had to learn. Supplies, I think you just have to learn on your own by talking to people. I got the eyes. I got some ear inserts. These are the Easy Ear from Team Epley. Hilton Epley Forms. So I'll show that when I get to it, how I'm going to do that. I liked how Cedar Ridge Chronicles did it. He kind of takes these and cuts these right about here. I've taken the cartilage out of my hide, and he gave a great explanation of how to do it. I made one little tiny mistake. I ripped the ear a little bit, and his suggestion was to use some dryer sheets and some super glue and just glue that back, and then obviously put the ear liner over it when you glue them in. With the clay, that's something I haven't messed with at all. So once I get the eyes put on, which is the first thing I'm going to do, start claying that. You can clay around the nose. I don't know if I'm going to do that on this one. Maybe just a touch. You can clay around the mouth, and it all helps tuck that skin in. And the tear ducts here, you can do some... Johnny Reisinger had some good ideas on what to do around the tear ducts. So then once I get that on, I think I'm ready for glue. Putting the glue all over it. I'm going to put the glue mostly on the neck and around here areas. And then I'll put the cape over, set the antlers, get those screwed back on. Kind of taxi it on there, get everything lined up with the brisket, kind of get everything where it needs to go, set and everything, and then do my sewing. Oh, sorry. I got to do some clay around this. So I'll have to do some clay around this and then I can start the sewing. So then when you start sewing, you get to the ears, you sew probably right around the antlers and right up here, which is going to take me a while. Just really fresh and green at sewing. I'm going to use what Tyler LaRue suggested is this Hercules Super Tough Braided Line 20-pound test. And he showed some good techniques at the seminar at the trade show. And then I'll finish the ears, putting a bunch of clay in the ears. And you really want to exaggerate the ears, they say. And I'm not going to worry a whole bunch about muscle tone and everything. There's 3 major muscles around the ears. And whatever way you put the ears, they could be folded this way, this way. I don't even know where I'm going to do it, how I'm going to put them yet. I'm going to see what looks good since it's mine. And stuff those full of clay. And then finish my sewing. So finish my sewing back up, get that done. And then I think you finish the back, maybe finish gluing, staple the back, finish that up. You're checking the whole time with the skin and how the skin is sitting up here. And then I'll put the nose in. And I'll tuck the lips back in. Tuck the lips in. And then I think I'm ready to tuck the eyes in last. And the whole time, like some people have said, if you screw up, you can take it completely apart. Probably a lot of work to do that, but you can take it right apart. You can take the glue off. You can just rinse it off, spray it off, wipe it all down, and then just redo it. I think I'm confident enough. That's why I'm doing one for myself before I do one for others. And so I'm just going to kind of get started and probably do this in a 2-part video. I don't know if I'll be able to show you my techniques because I really don't have any. I am just trying to do this video so brand new, fresh people can learn. A lot of times you do learn from a seasoned taxidermist. And if they're too seasoned, they have their own ways. They've built their own ways. They've built their own techniques and how they like to do things. Might not work for you. You have to find them yourself. And that's why I like Cedar Ridge Chronicles, because he's been doing it a while, but he is still he remembers going back to when he learned. And he's still learning things. And it sounds like a lot of taxidermists still learn. 20 years, 30 years later, they still are learning. And I just want to kind of make it look good. I don't want to make it look too goofy. Make sure everything kind of gets folded in good and glued in good. And looks okay. So I'm going to get started. And so thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something with that little long-winded video. And maybe look at part 2 as I start putting this together.